Hello everyone, welcome to the software coding tutorials channel. My name is Tommy, and today I will be showing you how to write a C/C++ program to create icon files, or ICNS, for the macOS. The program will be using a utility called SIPS, or Scriptable Image Processing System, to create a series of image files, or what we call icon set, with different sizes: 16 by 16, 32 by 32, 64 by 64, and you can see the largest size will be 1024 by 1024. This is what the Mac OS supports. Then after creating the icon set, we will be calling a program called icon_util, which actually generate the actual icon file. Okay, so let's open Visual Studio Code and create a new folder. So I'm going to create a new folder called icon_util, and in the icon_util folder, I'm going to go ahead and create a new file called icon_util create.cpp. And first thing, I'm going to go and declare include string, include iostream, include vector, then include fstream for checking existence of file, include ctype, cc_type. Okay, and in this case we're going to be using the toLower function. And then I'm going to go ahead and include sys_types.h, include sys_stat.h. This is basically looking at the stat of a file in Unix. And then include unix standard.h. Basically, this is to call the sleep function. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and declare using namespace standard. Okay, and I'm going to declare a couple of strings, constant strings. So I'm going to go constant string dir equal to desktop and some icon set. So we're going to go and create a directory called sum.iconset automatically using this program. Then I'm going to head and declare constant string icon file. So this will the icon file, or ICNS, will sit basically on the Mac desktop. So desktop new.icns. Okay. I'm going to declare the prototypes now, right? So this one for checking the existence of file. So we're going to create a function called fileExist, and we're going to pass it a file name, char file name to be exact. Then we're going to check for the extension. So we're going to create a function called getFileExtension, and we're going to pass in the actual image file, right? So the image file, right now I tested basically with PNG, but I believe you can pass it in JPEG or GIFs and maybe other image type. And then I'm going to have a function called wait. So this is basically, it's going to call the sleep function to wait for a certain number of seconds. Okay. Then I have another function called execute command. So this is the function that we'll be calling the system function in Unix, which go and call icon util and sips. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and create another prototype called create icon file, right, which require the actual image file as a parameter, right, as an argument. Okay, I think before we want to do create main, we want to create those functions that we would talk about. So first function we talked about was file exists. So bool file exists constant char star file name, and we're going to go ahead and check the existence of file, right, by file. We're going to declare file pointer. So it and we say fp equal to fopen file name, and then basically read mode, right, as a parameter, as an argument. And if file pointer is null, then we know that the file doesn't exist. So we do fclose file pointer and return false. Otherwise return true. Okay, so that's our function to check the existence of file. Then next thing is we want to check for the extensions of the file. So gonna declare string get file extension, right, and we pass it in the image file, right. Okay, here I'm going to declare some temporary variable, string temp. I'm going to declare string extension, and I'm going to go ahead and basically do a while loop, right, for auto see image file. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lower call to lowercase all the characters, right. So to lower, and this lowers all the anything. If it's an uppercase, it's going to lower those cases. And then I'm going to assign image file back to string temp. Okay, so this is easier if we can compare lower characters to a lower character, right? So I'm going to declare a vector extension search list. So the extension that I will be accepting is PNG, JPEG, and GIF. Okay, and then I'm gonna loop through the extension. So for auto extension, and loop through the extension search list, which we have up here. And we're gonna basically checking to see if we have the proper extension. So we're gonna do size t found equal to image file, find the extension. Okay, if found is not equal to string npos, then we know that that's the extension we should be using. So we can say string extension, string extension is equal to extension. Okay, so we need to declare another variable here called, I'm sorry, it's already here, so string extension. Just copy this and return string extension. Okay, otherwise return a blank extension. Okay, so that completes our function for our function called getFileExtension. Okay, so next we're going to create a function called wait. So type is void wait in second. So we're going to pass in an integer value. So we're going to say wait for second dot dot dot. So to let the user that we're waiting for x amount of seconds, x number of seconds. So then it's going to be calling the sleep function. Okay, and that's it. Okay, moving on, we're going to go and create the execute command. So void execute command, and we're going to pass in a string command type. String command, right? And we're going to do cout to let the user know that we're calling the command, which we pass it basically back to the operating system. So system constant char star and string command. So we do basically a C++ to C conversion here. Okay, so that will complete our execute command. Okay, next we will need to call we need to create the create icon function. So I'm going to type in void create icon file, right? And we need to pass in a image file. So make sure that this guy matches with the prototype, which it does. And I'm going to declare some temporary variable. Okay, and we're going to go and loop through the image file string, right? Why are we doing this? So we're going to check for space, right? So if it's a space, we want to escape that. Otherwise, it's not going to work properly. So I'm going to go and escape it. Then I'm going to concatenate it. Okay. Sorry, I misspelled this. And then assigned it back to the image file. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and declare struct stat st equal to 0. Okay, we're going to call the stat function later on, so I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to declare this initialize the struct right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and create a list of acceptable icon sizes. Okay, so I'm gonna say vector string icon size list. I'm gonna 16 by 16, 32 by 32, 64 by 64, 128 by 128, 256, oops, so 256 by 256, 512 by 512, and then 1024 by 1024. Okay, so this is our list of icon size. Okay, and next we're gonna go ahead and call we're gonna do remove icon set directory if it exists. So we're gonna execute command, and we're gonna pass in remove force and dir, right, which we declare up here. So if this directory exists, we're going to delete it, right? First delete it, wipe it out, and we're going to go ahead and wait for 10 seconds, right? Wait 10 seconds. Okay, then we're going to check the status of the directory. So check existence of directory. So if stat, and we're going to call if stat constant char star dir c string, and we pass in that structure. Okay, and we want to check if it's not -1, then we know that we can go and execute the make directory command. So make dir, okay, and pass in the dir constant, which we declare up there. So if that directory doesn't exist, go ahead and execute the command to make the directory. That's what we're doing there. Okay. Okay, next thing we want to do is we want to check the extension of the file. So get file extension. So string extension equal to get file extension, and we pass in the image file, right? And we're gonna go and create the image file with different sizes, right? So we're gonna go and do a for loop for auto size, and then pass in this icon size list here. Okay, and in this icon size list, we're going to go ahead and do we're going to call the zip command. So we're going to execute command, okay, and we're going to pass it zips -z, right, and we're going to pass in size. Okay, so and gonna gonna give it a space plus image file plus dash out. Make sure that we have space here in between, plus dir plus slash icon underscore plus size plus x, and then basically this is the dimension basically, so size plus sz plus the string extension that we declare up there. Okay, and I know this is kind of long, but you can basically, let me go ahead and so it's going to be sips dash z size, okay, and then the image file dash out directory, and then icon and the size. So it's going to be like 16 by 16, 32 by 32, and with the proper extension that was detected. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Okay, so once we would finish creating the image files with the different sizes, we're going to go ahead and list it out. So we're going to go ahead and list out the files that was generated, that was generated by SIPS. Okay, or scriptable image processing system. That's what it stands for. So we're going to execute command, and so we can say lsltr plus dir. Okay, so next step, we're going to go ahead and remove the icon file if it already exists. Okay, so we're going to execute command remove dash f, make sure we have a space here, plus icon file. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and wait 10 seconds for this. So wait 10 seconds. And then next we're going to call the icon util function. Okay, I'm sorry, icon util program to create the icns file or icon file for Mac. So execute command, and we're gonna type in icon util dash dash convert icns as a parameter plus directory plus output plus icon file. Okay, make sure we have spacing in between, right? Then wait for 15 seconds. Then list the file if it exists. So lsltr plus the new icon file that was generated. Okay, so hopefully you understand all this, but this is a great utility if you need to generate icon files for Mac. Okay, so that's it basically. for this function called create icon file. Okay. So in our next step, we're going to go ahead and create our main routine. And so int, we're going to declare, let me declare main int argc character, I'm sorry, char. Okay. And we're expecting an argument, right? So if arc less than 1, then we need to do cout argv0, and we're expecting the image file end line, and then exit 1. Okay, if file exists, so we're going to go ahead and call file exists. Sorry, if file exists and we pass in argv1, then we're going to go ahead and call the function called create icon file and argv1. Okay, as part of the command prompt, and then basically do a return 0. Okay, once we're done. So basically this completes our implementation for this program to create icon on the macOS. Okay, so now that we completed our program, let's minimize it and open up a Unix terminal. Okay, and then let's list the directory. So we created this directory called icon util. So let's cd into it. Okay, and then there's the icon util create.cpp. What we need to do is go ahead and compile it. So g++ standard equal C++ 11. So, and then icon util. Okay, -o, and we call it icon util create, right? And it compiles. So if we execute it now, we should see that it's expecting basically an image file as an argument. Here I have a list of files, and I have a list of image file that I created. So I have, for example, I have a image file called tetris.png, which I copy basically from the internet. Okay, and I'll go ahead and basically pass this in to see what it does, right? So icon util drag tetris.png, and then press enter to execute. So let's wait for a few seconds. Oops, and we made a mistake here. Let's Control C and go back to our Visual Studio Code. So you can see that I messed up here, and I should have, let's check the spacing with zips, make sure that we have a space here, and what else that we're missing. So let's double check. Okay, it looks like that's the only spot that's missing, a space. Okay, let's minimize this and recompile the program. So let's go and recompile it. Okay, and then let's go ahead and execute it again. And as you can see that it is actually generating a series of image file. Okay, wait for another 15 seconds. At this point we're calling icon util, and you can see here in our desktop there's the new icon file that's generated. Okay, and if we actually open this up in our previewer, see, an image, an icon file is basically containing a list of smaller images, right? Okay, see that? And you can go into the folder called sum.iconset, and you can look at like the different file sizes here. 16 by 16, these are automatically generated by our program. Okay, so let's test it one more time to make sure it still works. And I'm just gonna go minimize this. I have my own another icon here, so let's go ahead and delete this here and pass in another PNG, right, image file. Okay, and it actually deletes the icon set directory, and it's going to generate our new icons right now. Wow, and you can see it refresh, the desktop refresh with the new icon file for Mac. Okay, so this is quite a long tutorial, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and support me for this effort. And so thank you very much for watching the tutorial, and see you next time.